But right now, we're going to have a chat about green spaces. The coronavirus pandemic has caused us all to rethink how we carry out our day-to-day lives, from how we move around, how we work, the places we visit, I guess the things we spend our time doing. It's reminded us about what is important. And perhaps now more than ever, we are appreciating those outdoor spaces which give us some respite from being under lockdown at home, and it's felt so claustrophobic at times. How, though, do we protect them going forward? Well, James Cross is Chief Executive of Urban Green Newcastle, the charity that manages Newcastle's parks and allotments, and a leader of the Newcastle National Park City campaign, and joins me now. Good afternoon, James.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thanks for asking. So tell us a little bit more about the work that you do.
Yeah, so Urban Green Newcastle, it's really cool, a really cool project to be part of. We're a relatively new charity, just over a year old, and 25 people who just care deeply about the value of urban green space. So we look after all of Newcastle's parks, so that's 33 parks and over 60 of those allotment sites. And I guess as we began lockdown, sort of 9-10 weeks ago now, we took the decision that, we knew just how important these green spaces would be to people during, really, really tough times. And the team have worked really, really hard, and I'm really, really proud of them, to keep these places open, just so people can go and, improve their physical fitness, their mental well-being, to spend time with family during their daily exercise, and kind of interact with nature. And it has, the feedback we're getting from people, it's had such a profound impact, on their mood and on their health, really.
I think we've really come to rely on these local parks, on woodlands, beaches, these open spaces over the last couple of months in particular.
Yeah, definitely. And in many ways, it's almost reminded us as a community why these parks were created in the first place. If we think back 100 years ago, these parks were created for us, the people of Newcastle, to, the workers, to spend some free time, to spend some time playing sports or exercising with our family, and to make an investment almost in our health. And I think we've been reminded of that during these times where a lot of the things we would have ordinarily done have been taken away. It's reminded a lot of people, and we're hearing that every day. You know what? I've really appreciated just having this place on my doorstep, around the corner from where I live, to go and be reminded of the things that are important.
Definitely, especially for those people as well who perhaps aren't lucky enough to have a garden to sit in, just a bit of outdoor space, a bit of greenery. And of course, I've been hearing in the news today about how Newcastle City Centre is going to be radically redesigned to create extra social distancing space, introducing new cycle lanes, one-way systems for pedestrians, ground markings. Do you think this will work once more people start coming back to the city centre? Do you think that it's going to actually be okay, we'll get used to it, we'll kind of, adapt to it?
Yeah, and I think we're all going to kind of struggle with that question. What is the new norm? Now, it used to be the case that I used to say to people, gosh, could you imagine not having to go to the countryside to see nature? Wouldn't it be great if we could have nature in the towns and villages, in the cities? And for that reason, we've kind of really pushed the agenda with parks. But now we're asking the question, hey, why do you need to go to a park? Why can you not open your front door? And can you imagine walking to work or to a park and instead of streets being lined with cars and being lined with trees? Can you imagine the flowers and the bird song? Just imagine how that would make you feel. And would you be more inclined to walk? Would you be less inclined to get into the car? And think about the benefits that would bring to, again, your physical fitness, your mental well-being, the air quality around us. And I think, particularly as Newcastle City Council now wrestle with this question of, okay, what short-term modifications do we need to do to enable almost the city to come out of lockdown? Mm-hmm. Are we able to have a conversation about, well, actually some of these we might want to keep in the long term? And I think that's really exciting about some of the propositions and proposals put forward by the council.
Yeah, don't just do something that will last for the next few months. Do something that actually will make a difference in the years to come.
Definitely, and I think all of the research shows, it's really good for the city as well. People stay in a city that looks beautiful, that has lots of greenery, and businesses are attracted to cities like that. So I think we can find a way that enables us to live in a place that is good for the economy, that is good for our health, and good for our mood as well. And I think if we can try and find some positive out of this awful experience that we've gone through as a community, and try and hang on to some of these societal changes that we've made, I think that's definitely a conversation worth having.
So since the outbreak then, have you had more people talking to you about the idea of getting more green spaces, more open spaces actually within our city centres? Is that something people have come to you, James, with the idea of, hey, look, could you try and get this put on the agenda, if you like?
Yeah, and it's been a conversation that we've been having for a while, and one of the things we've been talking to people about is this idea of Newcastle becoming the next national park city. And the idea of a national park city, again, is this really cool idea. It's a global movement that says, do you know what? You don't have to live in the countryside to enjoy the benefits of a healthy environment and nature and beautiful things to look at. And last year, London became the first ever national park city in the world, and Adelaide, by the sounds of it, is sort of quite close to go next. And I keep saying, no, Newcastle's as good as anywhere else. Why not? So we're having those conversations now about, well, what would that mean? What would it mean to become a national park city? And the questions and the answers seem to revolve around those exact things, more trees, more flowers, green corridor, cleaner air.
Tell me about what a pocket park might be, James.
Yeah, well, when I walk, from my house, if I'm walking to the train station or to the bus stop, there's a derelict piece of land. It's relatively small, not too far from where I live. And, can you imagine if, as a community, we came together and thought about how we might want to reclaim that land for the community and plant it, and maybe put some trees there and plant it up with some flowers and bird boxes. These just really small parks that kind of pop up that almost owned and loved and managed by the local community. And again, I was really pleased to see some of those ideas crop up in some of the things that the council were talking about. And I think anything that enables children and grandchildren and parents and the community to come together, because as you said, not everybody's lucky enough to have a garden, actually. So the more we can do to encourage nature and greenery and wildlife outside of the parks and from the countryside into the places where we actually all live, I think that would have, again, a huge impact on people's well-being.
It's quite unbelievable how it does have an impact, because was it last weekend or the weekend before, we took our first real kind of out, when it was allowed, you could go out, you could travel to exercise, and we went to a wood which is close to us, and it was almost like a weight was lifted, you kind of exhaled, and that was just being amongst nature, you're kind of walking around, seeing the trees and all that kind of thing, and you don't appreciate the benefit of something like that.
It's so true. And we are a part of nature, and we're not actually living in our natural habitat, and we do get this profound positive impact from just an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside, and it's the smells, it's almost the assault on the senses, does something that really settles the mood down, and it's something that almost as a community we've had that collective epiphany, and I think if we can hang on to that and value it, carry it forward into this new normality, I think that's something worth a bit of effort, a bit of push.
Definitely. Is there somewhere we can go to find out more about the plans going forward, James?
I think so, yeah. Certainly if you go on to urbangreennewcastle.org, we've got lots of information about our parks and allotments and as and when we move out of lockdown, lots of information about events we'll be putting on there. We've got a page on there around the National Park City movement with lots of links. And of course, Like you, I'm a citizen of a member of the community. I don't work for the council, but the council has got lots of really good information on their website as well. But as we come out of lockdown, I'll be hosting more drop-in sessions and discussion opportunities with people about actually this centre becoming a national park city and some of the things we can do as a community to help.
Sounds brilliant, James. Really great to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
James.